Hi, this is Roy Worley. Welcome to the interview show that brings on guests from all walks of life. Yeah, it's here that they tell their stories and delve a little deeper into their lives to see what got them where they are. So grab a drink, have a seat, and relax, because this is the Leo Effect.
When was the last time a short movie shook your emotions to the core? When was the last time a short movie caused you to rethink everything you stood for? When was the last time a short movie made you proud to be an American? When was the last time you felt the emotion to stand up and cheer after a short movie? The new short movie, I've Got Your Six, written and directed by Bill Foster, one of the industry's newest and fastest climbing directors, will answer all of those questions. Rarely has there been so much packed into a short movie that when you leave, you'll feel more proud of our American military veterans. A movie that was cast only with American military veterans will have you on the edge of your seat, cheering for our veterans and what makes America great. I've Got Your Six will be hitting the film festival scene soon. Be prepared to drop what you're doing and go see this powerful movie when it comes to your area. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Leo Effects. And my guest tonight is a very, very, very special person. He's been around for a while making music for the masses. And unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know who he is. But we're here to get to know him a little bit better. I'm kind of in this fanboy state right now because I'm super excited to talk to him. But please allow me to introduce Fred Schneider. How are you, sir?
Hey, how are you?
I'm very, very well. Let's just jump right into this, huh?
Sure.
Cool. Now, obviously, we know you're a musician because I just said that. You were with one of the most iconic bands of all time.
Still am.
Yep. And that's the B-52's.
Yes.
Yeah. Where did that name come from?
Oh, it's from the girls' hairdos. Back in Athens, Georgia, they called beehive hairdos that actually look like the nose cones of bombs B-52's. So it was a joke.
Well, it was a joke that went far.
Well, yeah, hey, nothing like a good beehive. And nowadays, we need more beehives.
Yeah, I agree. More in the natural world, too.
More so in the natural world. We don't need all that hairspray.
Oh, man. How did your whole musical career start? How'd you get into all this? Was this something you started?
No, by accident. I mean, I did, well, when I was a kid, I would do scripts with my family and friends, parodies of, like, Lost in Space and Star Trek and all this other stuff, and would record, like my sister, when she was, like, 5 years old, recording fractured nursery rhymes. And so I've always been, like, someone, like, taping things and stuff. And we made 8mm movies that were really ridiculous because we always wanted to have a pie fight. When I was in junior year, senior year with my friends. And when I got to Athens, I actually started doing some basement tapes with Keith, which I still have, and yeah. So that's basically it. But I was more like a writer, reciter than I would say a musician.
I see. And did you have any kind of inspirations? Like, were there musical artists that you looked up to at the time?
No, in the beginning, I was just reciting, and I liked Dada and Surrealist poetry and art. But I never really sang, so I couldn't say I was influenced by anybody with my singing. And if I did, they would probably sue me for being insulted. But but I was a big Mr. Motown, they called me, in grammar school and high school. And so I was always listening to music.
Gotcha. Well, I have kind of a personal question, and that is that where did the inspiration for Rock Lobster come from?
Oh, come on. That's been a question I've answered a million times.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's from we were writing songs, and I went back to Atlanta and went to the 2001 disco in the 70s, and they were so cheap. Instead of having a light show, they had a slide show, and they showed slides of puppies, and I mean, it made no sense to have this in a gay bar, and lobsters on a grill. And I thought, oh, Rock Lobster, that's a good title for a song. And so I brought that back to the band.
Now, did the people from Family Guy, did they have to ask your permission to use that song?
Oh, we were happy that they did.
Yeah, how did you feel?
I don't know. I don't know if they had to, but it was fine with me, fine with, everyone else.
Okay. And when did you watch that episode where Peter Griffin was singing Rock Lobster?
Well, I don't watch TV, but as soon as they told me that it happened, I saw it on YouTube.
What'd you think about that?
Well, I liked Iraq lobster too.
Oh man. Well, you did some other stuff too. You came out with some solo albums, and you had the was it the Superions, right?
Yeah, actually they're going to re-release our Christmas album with 2 new tracks, The 12 Days of Christmas, Our Way, and a dance mix of, got to figure out which song would be the best dance mix, because people like to dance around the Christmas tree or holiday tree, whatever they call it, Hanukkah bush. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, as you should be. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it'll be on a major label, not a crap label like it was before.
Well, you said that when you were younger, you weren't much of a singer, but when you were in all these bands, you were singing right along. What was the change?
Oh, I wasn't. Well, the only other band, I wasn't really in dance. I sang with, we had, in Athens, we had a band called Night Soil that performed once. And we did the same 4 songs over and over for like 2 hours or more.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a slideshow of Canada. We had Go-Go Girls, and I don't think we had a guitar. We had like saxophones and violins, and it was just a cacophony. And people sat there and they didn't leave. So it was pretty weird. And the next day, the guy who ran the place down at this, it was called the station. It was an old train station that they stopped using, of course. Came by because I was having a yard sale and said, "Hey, we want you to do that again." And I'm like, "What?" Especially when, people are just singing the same stuff over and over. And it was just nutty.
Yeah.
But thank God I have photos of it.
Did you know when you formed the B-52's, or when you were part of the formation, did you know that it was going to be so just gigantic?
No, not at all. I was living in Atlanta, went up to Athens for Halloween, and that's when I met Cindy finally in 76. And after Halloween, I guess it was beginning of November, we jammed. We went to that old story. We went to the Chinese restaurant, had drinks, and went to our friend's basement. Yada Yada came up with Killer Bees because Killer Bees had just arrived. And I was really sick of Atlanta, and I said, "Hey, I'll move back to Athens, and let's, keep doing this. This is fun, the jam and all that." And it all took off from there.
Yeah, geez, and it certainly did take off, much like a B-52 airplane.
Yeah.
Now, you also tried your hand at the movie industry.
Oh yeah, I've been in. I was in a movie called Godass. Kate and I were in a movie together. Oh, I forget the name of it. We played hippie DJs in a radio station that was about to be canceled. And of course, Kate and I were in the Flintstones.
Right. And then you did some voice work with Desert Blue and the Rugrats movie. Did you have more fun being an actor over a singer, or was it kind of the other way around, or you enjoyed both equally?
It's all different. So I I like, whatever's fun and creative and different, I like.
Oh, that's fair.
Anything stress-free, that's fun for me.
Do you have a talent that you might consider useless?
Well, not that I could think of. I mean, I can play a cowbell for 7 minutes straight without missing a beat, but that's not, exactly in demand.
I mean, that
No,
sounds
not that I can think of.
okay. So you can't
I mean, I
throw
can't,
cards or juggle or.
I can't play the kazoo for hours and stuff. But
Where do you think you'd be if the whole music thing hadn't have worked out for you?
oh, I'd be old and fat in Athens, probably, and hopefully alive. You never know.
Right. And did you went on a bunch of tours, right? For when you were in the B-52's and when you were working on your own solo stuff, did you go on a lot of tours,
Yeah.
or did you have one that was like kind of your favorite tour?
Well, they're always grueling. You basically have favorite places to play and shows that are memorable. That's basically what it is, because they're pretty grueling.
Oh, okay. No, nobody's ever talked about the quote unquote darker side of touring. I imagine it would be kind of tiring, having to play a show and then jump on a plane and be in another city 2 states away the next day.
Yeah, actually, the travel part is the downside of touring.
Mm-hmm. Did you get to work on any new songs while you were traveling, or was it just kind of, okay, we need to sleep?
We can't create while we're traveling.
Oh. What was your creative process for making songs when you did? Like when you had time?
Oh, that was, well, for me with the Superiors and for me with the B-52's, it was all of us getting together and creating.
Mm-hmm. So you sat
really
down.
Focus. Yeah, put your mind to it and create.
Gotcha. So one of you would kind of start like playing a melody, and then you'd start coming up with lyrics or something like that?
Keith would come up with melody and choruses and things, and then Kate, Cindy, and I would jam to them. Sometimes we'd have an idea for a title, sometimes not. And in the beginning, it took forever to write a song. And with Cosmic, it became a little more condensed and easier. And for Funplex, we sometimes would come up with 2 songs in 3 days. So it was like, wow, and I think that's our undiscovered gem of an album. I mean, our last album, Funplex.
Yeah, I mean, when the creativity starts flowing, I'm sure it just, you bounce it off of each other and it just comes together like clockwork.
Yeah, and we worked together really well.
That's great. Well,
it worked.
Speaking of working together really well and, just jiving with somebody, like, did y'all get into any trouble when you were on tours?
We didn't, but some of our touring bandmates did. Like one guy got stuck in Tijuana. We weren't angels, but we were more like family, and yeah, we weren't your typical, okay, let's just do drugs, drink, and pass out and not show up type band.
Mm-hmm. So you weren't throwing TVs out of windows or anything like that?
No.
Well, that's good. That's good. And you're still creating music.
We couldn't have afforded to pay for them.
Oh, that's fair. Are you still creating any music now?
Oh, yeah. I just wrote a song with Ursula 1000 for Elvira, who I love working with. And I'm also going to have an album out with Hard Groove from Public Enemy. We've been working on songs for the past few years, and it's going to be wild. And another fave band of mine is the fabulous Downey Brothers, who I think are amazing. I just recorded a song with them. And I'll be writing and writing.
All right. And this whole quarantine thing hasn't slowed you down at all about all that?
Not that, but it's slowed down my libido.
I can feel you there. So do you have any other hobbies that you do besides music? Do you have anything that you like to do to kind of take your mind off of things and de-stress?
Well, I'm the world's worst gardener, so that's stressful. I like playing records and CDs and reading.
Oh, that's fun. Is there a particular author that's like your go-to book?
Oh, I like nonfiction. I like, especially like dinosaur books. I like history, paleontology.
So,
Yeah, I'm not a big fiction person. I was in the past, but now it's pretty much because what goes on in the natural world and in history is way weirder than fiction.
yeah, sometimes that's for sure. You never thought to pursue a career in paleontology?
No, I'm a dinosaur nut. So actually, I was banned from reading dinosaur books and Dr. Seuss when I was 10 in the fifth grade. We had this horror of a teacher who actually, some people had their, complained and to the principal and all that. But she banned me from reading Dr. Seuss and dinosaur books. Not that there's any connection, but
Yeah, I was
but
kind of
you
sitting
can
here
you
scratching
can
my
see
head.
yeah, you can see where I get my inspirations. The age of 10. It's great.
Oh my goodness. Do you have like a go-to snack food that you like to munch on?
Well, lately it's been, if it's not sprouted raw flax crackers, it's when I jazz up popcorn and dry roasted peanuts.
All right, yum. Cool. Well, do you have, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Do you have any really big projects or anything that's, people should really be watching for? Like, are you going to be in some more movies? You said you had some collaborations coming out, but you got any more movies
Well,
coming or anything?
I have the coffee business. I'm partner in Breyting, BREYTING.com.
Oh, cool.
We've been around for a couple of years now, and we're opening up our event space. And what we're doing is coffee subscriptions for charities and progressive organizations. And I have several blends of coffees. And it's also at communityroaster.com. So I would encourage people to go to that because it's all organically grown, fair trade, fair to men and women working together rather than, the men do get the money and the women, are in the background. So we're really proud how that's going. And 10% of all the profits go back to Laos, where we dropped 500 million tons of ordnance or 500 million pieces of ordnance on the country for no reason.
Right. That's a really noble cause. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm right. Our next thing is Satellite Delight, and we have a contest which you can join on the Buzz, the B-52's Buzz, named the Space Gals, and you win coffee and a T-shirt. So it's all fun, and it's all good.
Yeah. What made you decide to go with coffee?
Well, I've known my friend Rick Coben, who started the coffee company when he was really young and doing organic T-shirts like 30 years ago. I met him at my favorite record store in Florida, Rock and Roll Heaven, and we stayed friends. And all of a sudden, he called me up and said, "Hey, you want to do a line of coffee?" And I said, "Sure." Because I like coffee. And he sent me 8 bags of coffee. I didn't like any of them on their own that much. But I put 2 together and came up with Fred's Monster Blend, named after my song Monster. And from that point on, we worked together, and then he made me a partner. So it's like, it's going great.
That's fantastic. I'm very happy for you.
It's really positive and progressive, and as I get older, it's something, what, I'm going to be really happy doing this in my dotage.
Yeah. And they say when we get older, we get wiser. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's brand new to the music industry or even brand new to the coffee industry?
You know what? That is go viral on YouTube. I I don't know what you do. I'm thinking get involved with local things, post things on Facebook and YouTube, get your friends to post it, because everything's changed, because you can't really sell albums or CDs or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know how to do it. Volunteer for any charity event that involves music and, showing your, latest creations. See, I was lucky. We started out when you had to hear us on the radio or buy the single. With us, you had to buy the single because they wouldn't play us on the radio at first until independent and college radio came along. So.
Ah, okay. Well,
yeah, I just don't know. It'll be really cute.
fair enough.
There you go. Hello.
And do you have like any kind of social medias or anything like that people can follow along with what you're doing?
Well, they can go to breaking.com because everything I do with my coffee company is on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on, Facebook, Brett Schneider III. I'm not on Instagram or whatever.
Okay, cool. Well, that's pretty respectable and pretty easy.
And I keep in touch with Liesl on the buzz and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we'll make sure to put links to whatever websites and social medias we can get our grubby little paws on in the description of the podcast. And that way people can go check you out and they can order some of your coffee. I think I just might do that after this interview.
Okay, and we'll post this on the Breaking site.
Cool.
We have all different coffees from all different people.
Yeah. I think it's a really good cause. I mean, I don't even really drink coffee, but for that cause, I'd love to participate. So.
Yeah, well, if you're part of a charity, they do like I said, a subscription thing, and the charity makes a really hefty profit signing up people to get the subscription.
Yeah. Well, Fred, I just want to say with these last few minutes of the interview here that I've had a really good time talking to you. We got to hear you answer some questions that you've answered 1,000 times, and then you also told some really good stories about some of the other questions. So, I've had a blast chatting with you. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Well, thank you. No, I thought it was great too. Seriously.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And
okay,
I definitely,
well,
I definitely want to say thank you very much to the listeners who tuned in to check this out. Make sure you click on the links and go get some coffee. It's great.
And we'll talk again.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you all very much.
Let's chat at the end of the year, see what's going on with this crazy virus and crazy administration and whatever.
Exactly. We'll all be let out of doors and everything will be all right.
Uh-huh. And then we'll shut the doors again.
Yep. Well, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all next time. Oh, now that was an awesome interview. Thanks so much for listening. You all are so great. And don't forget to head to Facebook, Insta, and Twitter and follow The Leo Effects. If you want to hear some comedy and ridiculous voices, check out Shattered Dungeons on YouTube and all other places podcasts can be heard. And you'll hear me voicing crazy characters, usually pretty terribly. So thank you so much. You all are the absolute best. And we will see you all on the next episode.